Welcome to the London Property Podcast, your trusted guide through the complex and ever-evolving world of London real estate. We help clients manage, protect, and grow their property wealth by connecting them with the right expertise from finance, law, and tax to construction, design, and strategic advice. Through conversations with industry leaders, we bring you clear, practical insight into the trends, challenges, and opportunities shaping the market. Let's dive in.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the London Property Podcast. I'm your host, Farnaz, and today we're talking about the Great British Property Reset, how red tape, taxes, and institutional capital are rewriting the rules. The UK property market is currently undergoing a radical, once-in-a-generation structural shift. For decades, the narrative was simple: buy a house, watch it appreciate, and maybe pick up a buy-to-let for your pension. But today, a perfect storm of aggressive taxation, heavy-handed compliance, and shifting global wealth is rewriting the rulebook. The market isn't necessarily crashing, but it is professionalizing, polarizing, and pushing out the amateurs. Here is how the Great British Property Reset is unfolding. For years, the private rented sector was dominated by mum-and-pop landlords. Today, the math simply no longer works for them. The incoming Renters' Rights Act will abolish Section 21 no-fault evictions, end fixed-term tenancies, and severely restrict how landlords manage their properties. Add in the looming requirement to upgrade rental properties to an EPC rating of C by 2030, a collective £24 billion burden across the industry, and the regulatory labyrinth is suffocating small investors. The result? A mass exodus. In London alone, 42% of private landlords are planning to sell up, driven away by rising regulation and uncertainty. As the CEO of Zoopla recently stated, being a private landlord in Britain simply no longer makes financial sense. Where the amateur flees, institutional capital enters. The vacuum left by exiting private landlords is being rapidly filled by pension funds, private equity, and sovereign wealth funds through the build-to-rent, BTR, and co-living sectors. The BTR sector's value has doubled over the last 4 years and is projected to nearly double again to £126 billion by 2028. Meanwhile, operational real estate, such as co-living and purpose-built student accommodation, is now underpinning London's housing pipeline. Between 2022 and 2024, these sectors accounted for roughly 24% of all housing delivery in the capital. We are witnessing the shift of housing from a passive asset to a service-led, institutionally managed commodity. At the very top of the market, prime central London is experiencing an identity crisis.
You're listening to the London Property Podcast. We help clients manage, protect, and grow their property wealth. If you find this conversation useful, don't hesitate to get in touch. Now, back to the conversation.
The abolition of the 225-year-old non-dom tax regime has triggered an exodus of ultra-high net worth individuals. Billionaires like steel tycoon Lakshmi Mittal and the Livingstone brothers are relocating their tax residencies to jurisdictions like Switzerland, Monaco, and Dubai to avoid 40% inheritance tax on worldwide assets. However, London isn't emptying out entirely, it is just changing hands. Wealthy US buyers, leveraging a strong dollar and fleeing political uncertainty at home, have become the dominant force in the luxury market, viewing London as a relative bargain. Furthermore, the super rich who are staying are changing their behavior. They are renting. To avoid exposure to falling prices and eye-watering stamp duty bills, ultra-luxury rentals are booming, with some Mayfair mansions now letting for up to £325,000 a month. Finally, we have to talk about the friction killing the market: compliance and red tape. Buying, selling, or building property in the UK has become an administrative nightmare. For developers, new building safety regulations, energy rules, and affordable housing quotas have created a jaws of death scenario where construction costs rise while property values stagnate, effectively rendering many projects financially unviable. In the transaction market, things are just as bleak. The average property transaction now takes 120 days from instruction to completion, with roughly 1 in 3 deals collapsing before the exchange of contract. Much of this is driven by systemic bottlenecks, like the land registry taking an average of 10 months to process applications and an overzealous compliance culture. As we've noted before, this is exacerbated by a compliance skills gap, where sophisticated anti-money laundering, AML, and Know Your Customer, KYC checks are poorly executed, unnecessarily freezing pipelines and frustrating investors. The bottom line? The UK property market is transitioning from a free-for-all into a highly regulated, corporatized industry. For the agile institutional investor, this reset offers a £100 billion opportunity. But for the traditional landlord, the casual luxury buyer, and the small-scale developer, the golden era has officially come to a close.
Thanks for listening to the London Property Podcast. If you'd like guidance on managing, protecting, or growing your property wealth, get in touch. We're here to help. And if this episode proved valuable, share it with someone who takes the market seriously and make sure you're following so you never miss an update.